The Richelieu, and last I left off, I took all the tape off, and we can see the magical paint job that magically appeared on there. Anyway, I went in and I call it feathered. It's actually it's very, very subtle, but you can see it where it fades, kind of like a wave. Now, some people do it darker, some people do it lighter. I kind of did it in between. I used intermediate blue with a little bit of white, and just lightened up all the way to the back here, and then with a little more white, just very, very right, like dead center, and just trail it to the back, just kind of give it a motion like that. I did that all the way back there on that side. It should be pretty good to go. On the other side, if I can spin it without, probably not. Did the same thing on this side. You can see the different fades in and out. Very, very subtle. You know, don't. Again, I can't really weather it or build it with my style because the model is not going to be assembled by me, but by someone else. But anyway, I got all that accomplished. I had to go back in and touch up a few little areas of the hull red where I guess I didn't tape it good enough. But anyway, I got that fixed. My next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to shoot future on it. I always like to seal the work before I proceed on, and I'm pretty much just about finished with the camo. I just got to touch up a couple little areas, and then I'm going to go in. I'll put the black line that goes on the waterline hole, and I'm just going to use Mr. Graphic Tape here, which is my, I couldn't paint it straight to save my life, so we're going to cheat and use that, and then I'll seal it, and then we'll look at it one more time. I did go back in and paint a few little things, like the edge of the, where the turret goes, because it's where the camo hits. Again, it really needs to be assembled, and once you start getting assembled, then you can go back in and do some touch-ups where the camo pattern hits. Did the same thing on the right there, if you can see the two different colors. Turrets on top, they're a little bit lighter. I added a little more white to the intermediate blue and got the two different shades there, if you can see it. And I just did a little bit of darkness here and there on the occasional parts. But again, this is one of those that really needs to be assembled, and then you can really continue on after that, because really I can't do much more on that. But anyway, we'll do the waterline next. The baby driver car. Last I left off on that, I ripped the tape off. You can see where I got the chrome. I got to touch up just a little bit of the chrome where paint bled through, but that ain't nothing. I'll just probably take a little bit of alcohol and a what's it called? Where is it? I'll probably take a alcohol and a micro brush, and I'll just go in and clean that off real nice and slow. But anyway, I started painting the red interior, and I airbrushed the majority of it, and then I stopped and I masked the rest of it off and got most of it. Now I got to go back in with Mr. Brush and Vallejo red here, and I just got to go in and do trim work, and I got to go in where I can't reach an airbrush, if you can see where the floorboard is, and just paint that, get that all painted. I got basically 1.5 coats. It needs a couple more just to get a little more vibrant red, and I'll go back in and see where the darker blues are, where it was. I'll paint them white, and should be good to go again. And of course I'll spray the future, give it a little bit of shiny. There's probably going to be a couple places that's going to be blue, and that's going to be like the door jambs here. It is a metal body car. If I paint it, it may scrape off, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It's, the functionality still works, but I'll try to get the I'll get the painted here white and do a little trim work on the spare tire. I got it on. I got to tell everyone this was broke in about 5 different places, and I got most of it. I got it glued on about right, except right here it was a smooth break, so I got that on. Over here it's going to be a little bit crooked, but that's it wasn't a clean break at all, and I tried to salvage what I could. I got it super glued on. I got the custom plates on, finished painting the tire. And one thing I had to add, and I just added it for, I put a tube in there, and I'll paint that white. That was just what I had handy. It just makes it good and sturdy for the tire to hold on to, because there's actually a big gap, and you can see the gap on the top here, but bottom you won't really see that. And of course I got to paint the underside. Very little where I got some white painted on there, but anyway, no big deal. So we're getting closer and closer on the baby driver car for the paint job. Anyway, I got to rip off the tape and go from there. But anyway, I think it is taking shape. The tanks. I went ahead and I basically base coated all of them. I did a white one, I did a tiger yellow one, and then I did a red brown one. And for the red brown one, we're going to do tiger yellow and some greens on the red chassis. And I already got taped off, and this is just a random pattern that I just came up with, just taping it real quickly. Got the tiger yellow on. I'm going to rip that off, and then I'm going to put the green on. And then, but what I did is for the side skirts, I put Mr. Tulip, and you can see just a little bit of lumpy, not a whole lot, but it did, you probably could smooth it out with regular putty, but I think that did just plus once you get some weathering on it, it look like it's good and beat up, and that's what we want. Anyway, I got that pattern on. This one here, it's going to be more greens and red, and then I want to take a gray, maybe a darker gray, do a camo pattern on that with a little bit of black, and I think that'll be cool for a little snow tank. Just make that just a tad bit different. So that's what I've got going on today. I should have a shed update, so stay tuned for that. We are starting to paint the tanks here. We are painting the baby driver car, and we are painting the camouflage on the Richelieu. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.